The year is 1969. Richard Nixon holds office as the President of the United States. The Vietnam War rages on. And in 1 month the USA will send a man to the moon.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.
Whilst this period in time is filled with intriguing history, the Martin family did not expect to be a part of it when they visited the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is located between North Carolina and Tennessee. Visiting this national park was a tradition for the family, and to celebrate Father's Day, 6-year-old Dennis Martin and his older brother were accompanying their father and grandfather on their visit to the park. The family spent 2 days hiking. On the second day, they became acquainted with another family with small children who were traveling along the same trail and decided to make camp with them that evening. On the 14th of June at 4:30 p.m., Dennis's father watched Dennis hide behind a bush along with the children of the other family in an attempt to burst out from hiding and surprise the other adults and children who were nearby. After a few minutes had passed, the other children returned to the campsite. Dennis did not return with the children, and they did not know where he had gone. His father became worried and began to search for him. When he could not be found in the immediate area, his father considered that Dennis could have become disoriented and wandered back down the trail in an attempt to find his family. Dennis's father ran down the trail in an effort to outpace and catch up with his son. Running for nearly 2 miles with no sign of Dennis, his father concluded that it would have been impossible for a 6-year-old to have gotten any further in the time that had elapsed since he was last sighted. With nightfall approaching, the family contacted the National Park Rangers, who launched a search for the missing boy. As the search began, a storm, which had been brooding, unleashed a downpour of rain in the area, limiting the search operation. With the missing persons case gaining momentum, over 1,400 people got involved in the search, including volunteers, National Park Rangers, and the National Guard, who were mobilized to assist in the search effort. Curiously, a detachment of the Special Forces known as the Green Berets also joined the search effort. This elite military group began conducting its own search of the area. By the next morning the boy had not been found. The heavy rains the night before had washed the trails of footprints, flooded streams, and cleansed the land of the scent of Dennis that sniffer dogs were searching for. To make matters worse, a thick mist had descended upon the area, hampering the effort to locate Dennis. During the day, a set of footprints were found leading from the Martins' campsite to a nearby stream. The footprints were left by a person wearing one Oxford boot whilst the other foot was bare. At the time, investigators ruled that this track had been left by a Boy Scout assisting in the search. A retired ranger has since commented that he believes that these footprints were in fact Dennis's. He claims that the Boy Scouts were searching in groups, yet these footprints were found alone. As well as this, he points out that, of course, all of the search volunteers were wearing both shoes whilst searching. The yield of nuts in the forest, a large food source for bears, had been especially low that year, and it was theorized that a hungry bear could have killed and eaten Dennis. The search teams began collecting and analyzing bear feces for traces of human remains. None were found. Wild boar droppings were then analyzed for the same reason. Though less likely, the species of boar in the forest had been known to be aggressive. Again, no traces of human remains were detected. The search parties even went as far as to search open pit latrines in the area, suspecting that Dennis could have fallen into one and drowned in the raw sewage. No sign of Dennis was found in any latrine. Around this time, a man named Harold Key made a report to the police. He had been visiting the park on the day Dennis went missing. He was around 5 miles from where Dennis was last seen, some time after he had already gone missing. Harold heard what he believed to be a child's scream. After this, a man, that was described as being unkempt, entered a white car and drove away. The investigators concluded that the distance between the place Dennis was last seen and Harold could not be covered in the time that had elapsed and did not investigate these claims further. Dennis's father has disputed these claims, believing it was possible, though difficult, to have moved between the two locations in the time frame. By the 29th of June, over 2 weeks after Dennis was last seen, the search was called off. One final sweep of the area revealed no further clues in regards to the boy's whereabouts. In many lost persons cases, the person develops a fear of the search teams looking for them. If this occurred with Dennis, it is possible he could have been extremely close to search parties multiple times, but was too afraid to call out. In the decades since Dennis disappeared, his family, in particular his grandfather, have spent a large portion of time searching the forest, to no avail. The officially suspected cause of death is death by exposure, following multiple cold nights in the forest. Dennis's father, however, believes that foul play was involved in the disappearance. The poorly investigated report involving the unkempt man stokes theories that Dennis was kidnapped and could still, potentially, be alive. As well as this, the exceptionally large state involvement in the search, with the FBI and special forces involved, has led some to speculate that perhaps a cover-up of some kind occurred, including ideas that there could be a tribe of indigenous people within the national park whom kidnapped and possibly cannibalized the boy. Though this is only speculation, and no evidence has arisen supporting these claims. With up to 4 inches of leaf litter dropping onto the forest floor every year, if the remains of Dennis are still within the forest, they are now lost, buried deep beneath the soil. Remember to search for the truth, everyone, but be careful the truth doesn't find you first.